Hey guys, it's me, Nalthazar here, and I wanted to show you guys my new favorite deck. I've called it Land Ho because it's a land-based deck. You'll see that I'm using Brokon instead of Ren and 6, and this isn't just that I didn't want to spend money to buy Ren and 6, but it's that Brokon is better as long as Blue Sun Zenith is in Standard. When Blue Sun Zenith rotates out, we're going to go ahead and make a few changes to the deck. Because when Blue Sun goes out, so does Rupture Spire. And so those two are honestly going to get replaced by Gemstone Caverns. So if you're unfamiliar with what that one is, it's a new masterpiece in M20. And then we're going to go ahead and swap out the other one for Pyromancer's Goggles. So that's what that'll look like when the standard shift changes. But otherwise, let's take a look at the deck. So the first thing that you'll notice is that there's a whole ton of ways to get lands. So we've got Golos, and Golos fetches a land when he enters the battlefield and puts it into play. His Activate 2 ability is pretty awesome too, in that he exiles cards from your library and then puts things onto the battlefield for free. He goes really nicely with Cavalier of Thorns, because while this one also produces lands, if this thing dies, it gets exiled, which means that Golos is going to bring him back. So those two things are going to bring us lands. Then, on top of that, Death Sprout. Not only does it kill creatures, but it gives us lands. And then Killer Instinct is going to be getting us Golos and the Cavalier of Thorns, and that's going to get us even more lands. Now, ultimately, this card here is the one that made me want to make the deck, because when I was reading the second half of it, it clicked that your first creature gains haste and gets +2/+2 for each land support and land support reinforcement you control is a permanent buff. It's not just until end of turn. So it's really good, especially given that this Cavalier of Thorns, which has reach, is going to be the first creature you control. So with the Vidu-Ghazi buff and the Cavalier of Thorns, you're going to be getting a super massive reach creature. The highest I've gotten him is 140 in one turn from playing one Cavalier of Thorns. So it ramps pretty quickly because of how many lands you're bringing out. The final pieces to this deck are Fields of the Dead. This card is actually incredibly important to the deck because all the zombie tokens that it produces for free are ultimately going to be the reinforcement stacks that Killer Instinct is going to be taking away. So it's nice to have that. And the other really important piece of it is it gives us our third creature. And we need that third creature so that Vidu-Ghazi buffs the first creature instead of making the Vidu-Ghazi token, which is a 9/9, which isn't bad, honestly, but we want to buff the Cavalier of Thorns instead. Finally, I wound up using two gates, so Plaza of Harmony and the red-green gate. I went with these two because Plaza of Harmony is going to give you some life gain, which is nice just if you want to play the deck over and over and over and over again. Otherwise, you really don't need the life gain. And then the Simic Gilgate, this is the blue-green one, just because basically everything in the deck is blue or green or colorless. So if for some reason I use Sarkhan's first ability, those are going to be the most likely colors to get boosted by Sarkhan's ability. So I'm pretty much never using it though. I'm using the third ability and then getting 3 Cavaliers of Thorns, or I'm using the second one to get a creature so that I can start using these. So let's go ahead, get into a match. We're up against Gideon. Okay, well, Gideon sucks, but ignoring that the Planeswalker itself sucks, hopefully you get to see why this deck is so awesome. So I'm going to go ahead, bring up Killer Instinct. That's an excellent first draw. That's actually the card that you want first, because that means that you're getting a free land every single turn. Every single turn, which is really, really nasty. And you'll see that I'm going to be a little bit lazy with my gem matches. That's just so that I can go through the game quickly so you can see how the deck works. Unfortunately, Brokon does not have neutral gains, so we're going to go with that. Get Killer Instinct. I froze out the Cavalier in my hand because I did not want him to cast and then just immediately lose him. So if you were wondering, why didn't you play him, Michael? That was why. I'm going to be tossing one of these. I'm just tossing one so that in case I get another Cavalier next turn, I've got room to draw the card. keep in mind that the Cavalier puts the card into your hand. So while Godo here, he gives it to us directly onto the battlefield, the Cavalier puts it into your hand. I called him Godos. Did I get it right? Golos. Oh well. So now we get to see some nice things. We got a Field of the Dead down. That's really important for making tokens, which means that the cards that we're getting from Killer Instinct will not be dying very soon, right? We want that. So we're going to go ahead, just keep matching, trucking away. Because all of the things that we're getting are giving us lands, it means that we're eventually going to trigger Rupture Spire. Good. We're going to be getting that. Good. And now that, which is also good. You'll see that I'm low power, of course. I'm moving things around in my hand. I want to get the Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi, but I don't want it quite yet if I can help it. So we'll see what we get. Rupture Spire is great there because that's actually going to trigger Golos twice, giving us 2 more lands, which is awesome. And then not only is it giving us the lands, but it's going to give us Sarkhan's Ultimate, which is also pretty awesome. I'm going to go ahead and destroy that. And it also means that I can use my Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi this turn, which is also pretty awesome. Now this is going to get us 3 creatures. You might be wondering, wait a minute, why not just save the Awakening for next turn? If you save it for next turn, you'll get an additional +6, 8 or so, right? But we're just doing a quick playthrough here. And in all likelihood, we might even wind up drawing another one of them, or Blue Sun, or something like that. And really, we're just trying to make these guys as big and bad and nasty as possible. So here's where you're seeing, now we're getting a bunch of the zombies now too. So, I mean, just for playing a land that gives us 3 mana a turn, we've now got an 18/18 haste on the battlefield. And like that, the playfield is ramping very dramatically, very quickly. With all of the gem matches, we've got access to pretty unfair amounts of mana, in my opinion. I'm matching that one for the Golos. You get to hear my son giving a little bit of commentary too. He's watching, and with that, we're going to get one more turn to try and get some good stuff. Maybe we can make a really big boy play, get another Vitu-Ghazi just to make the Cavalier of Thorns bigger. Do we need it? No. Is it fun to do just for giggles? Absolutely yes. So there aren't any 5 matches, so I'm going to do that. There's the Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi. I'm going to play this here in hopes that... Nope, not enough mana. Well, doesn't matter. Gideon got wrecked. And that's the end of it. So that's the deck in a nutshell. That was a pretty low-key match, but as you play it more, you'll see that you get much bigger matches. So when I say bigger matches, I mean that the Cavalier of Thorns is going to become a big boy. But hopefully with that, you've seen some of the interactions. I've actually played all 10 matches with this Land Ho deck to great effect. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've tried a few different versions. You can try a few different versions yourself, but I think this is probably the best version right now, and I hope you enjoy it.